Hypers, if you know what a Chad and an Incel are. Anybody here know? Well, that's literally everybody. Yeah, so the Chad versus Incel dynamic has been going on for a long time, and I am going to, I'm going to tell you guys a dirty secret of mine, all right? I wasn't always the blazing stud that you see before you today. There was a time, particularly when I was in high school, when I was a bit of an incel. It's probably what led me to being more right-leaning when I was younger. I literally... Back before our incel was banned, I browsed that subreddit on the regular. I'm not lying to you guys. I'm not. Nowadays, if I'm being real, I've actually got, like, a lot of women that go after me. A lot of it is probably because of my notoriety online. But, like, a fair amount of it is because as much as I meme about it, I think I'm a fairly good-looking guy. Like, in terms of, like, I've got a pretty fucking strong jawline. I mean, you know, you can tap the fucking jaw there. I got a pretty strong chin, too, you know? I keep my face pretty clear. I wash my face every night. I dress fairly nice. When I'm not at home playing Rust all day, I've got pretty good hygiene. I'm by no means a Chad, but I'm certainly not on the incel tier. I'm pretty, like, average looking, maybe a bit above average looking. But if I'm being honest with all of you, you don't have to be very good looking to get, like, a hot girl to be into you. And I'm mostly talking to incel guys here. I'm not talking to the femcels today. That's not who we're talking about now. I'm talking to the incels. The guys. All right? Believe it or not, but you don't actually have to be all that good looking to get with a hot girl. You really don't have to. I know, it's surprising, and you don't need to be rich, and you don't need to be famous. As a matter of fact, you can actually get with a pretty good-looking girl, even if you're, like, a pretty ugly dude, on a base level by dressing nice, having good hygiene, and being interesting. Something I notice about a lot of incels is that their realization that they are an incel is their downfall. That's the sad thing. Being in denial, and this is what we called it back then, you know, like somebody who didn't realize they were an incel yet was an incel in denial. When you're in denial, it's actually when you have your best chance of actually getting with a girl because you still think that you have a chance, and you do have a chance. But once you accept that you're an incel, you've basically given that chance away. It's done. You've stopped trying, and you miss every shot you don't take. So, I'm going to start by talking about my history. Back when I was sort of a, I guess you would say pseudo-incel, though some of you might just say I was a full-on incel when I was younger, and how I got to where I am today, where I do, unironically, get a lot of hot women coming into my DMs and, you know, hitting on me pretty obviously. Like, I've literally had, like, A-tier porn stars hit on me, okay? I'm not joking around about that, all right? Like, literally, I'm friends with, hold on. I'm literally friends with this woman, all right? Let's just say you can get out of the incel shit, okay? That's all I'm saying. All right? Now, listen. When I was 15, I started to really get into trying to get, like, my first girlfriend, all right? That was my goal. And it didn't work out particularly well, particularly when I was younger. I wasn't the best looking. And I was also very sour. When you're, like, 15 to, God, even 19 or 20, you're going to be a pretty sour person, whether you realize it or not. This just has a lot to do with hormones and development and whatnot, and it has a lot to do as well with your personal life. And the more you get rejected by women and your advances get shot down, the more bitter you get. And the more bitter you get, the less appealing you get, the more pushy you get, and the less confident you get. And these are all things that are unattractive to most women. So, probably what pushed me over the edge to the point where I started browsing our incel and doing other cringy things I'll explain shortly, was when I was 16. when I was 16, I can actually start, the story actually starts on Christmas of 2016, believe it or not, shortly before I started getting reactionary. I got, for Christmas, in 2016, a PS4 with Battlefield 1. I've been wanting that game for a while because of how much hype there was around it. I got this game, and I took a picture of it with my new PS4, and I posted it on Instagram. You know, just left it up there. And a couple hours later, a girl, we'll call her Sam, messaged me, and it was like, hey, I was really excited for that game. We should hang out and play it sometime. She just, like, followed me and slid into my DMs. I looked at her account to make sure she was real. She definitely was. I realized she went to the same school that I swam for because I was homeschooled. So, yeah, by the way, my ass was, like, homeschooled and didn't have a lot of social interaction. I realized she was real. So me and her started talking, and we started going back and forth and whatnot. And, you know, it was pretty obvious that there was flirtatiousness happening. Now, this new Star Wars movie, Rogue One, had just came out, so I invited her to go see that movie. And we both got dropped off by our parents because we were fucking 16, we were teenagers. And we saw the movie, it went really well. Then we went back to my house, and we hung out for a little bit, and we're sitting on my bed watching YouTube videos, and we made out. It was pretty cool. That was probably, like, one of my first, like, actual kisses, because before that it was, like, a peck on the lips from, like, some girl when I was in, like, middle school or elementary school. Nothing crazy. And that was, like, really cool. And I was like, okay, nice. Yeah, I think she's going to be my first girlfriend, right? That is not what ended up occurring. A couple days later, I wake up, and at this point we'd been, like, sexting and talking quite a bit. And I woke up, and I checked her... Hold on, my nose is dripping. I'm gonna kill myself. I swear to God, I have to have COVID or something. I don't know why my nose is so plugged today. I go, and I check her account, and I see... You know that cringy thing that some teenage girls do where they type in, like, a date, and then the key in the lock, and then, like, a heart on the day they started dating their most recent significant other? Like on Instagram or Twitter. You know what I'm talking about? I see that, only it's referring to the day before when I woke up to see this, and it's some other dude with his @ linked in the bio. And you can imagine I was a little bit upset. And to give you an idea of what I saw when I looked at this guy's account, let me show you there's a meme that perfectly depicts this dude and what he looked like, all right? Here. This is the meme that depicts what this guy looks like. Everyone knows the kind of guy that I'm talking about, right? Everybody fucking knows what I'm talking about. Dude, his profile picture was just of his, like, his shins down, showing off his fucking Vans. That was his profile picture on Instagram. That was this dude's Instagram profile picture. It was because he was doing, like, to describe it, he was doing, like, the kind of pose, and, like, it cut down at his knees, but it was, like, focused on his Vans, you know? That was his profile picture on Instagram, okay? And, she'd met this dude, like, the day before, and, yeah, and he had a SoundCloud linked in his bio, too. Like, this guy was the whole package, the whole... We're gonna call this type of dude a Tyler, okay? He was the whole fucking package, all right? So... I messaged Sam, and I'm like, hey, what the fuck? Only, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I can imagine it was quite angry and quite snotty, considering I was a 16-year-old douchebag white boy, all right? Now I voted for Biden, so I'm black, but it is what it is, you know? So I messaged Sam, and she is, as you can imagine, quite unapologetic. She did not feel bad whatsoever for what she did, which I can see her side of things to a degree. Like, I'm going to be real with all of you. Just because you went on one date with a dude and you made out and, like, sexted a little doesn't mean that you are locked into a relationship. A lot of people just kind of date around with multiple people all at once and then get, you know, yeah, she didn't owe me anything. But I did feel pretty, like, it would have been nice if she, like, told me, hey, I'm talking to other people or something. That would have been nice. But to be fair, she didn't owe me anything. I got pretty upset about that, though. Got really upset about it. And I started getting mad at her. And I was like, how the fuck could you do that? You're a bitch, yada, yada, yada. Didn't call her a bitch, but I did get pretty angry. And then she blocked me. What do you think I did when she blocked me? I'm curious. First person to answer correctly gets a cookie. Crick Chirp guessed it. Crick Chirp guessed it. Made an alt account and messaged her there. And when she blocked that one, I made another. I think I made around 4 accounts before I gave up. And that was what blackpilled me with women. I thought I was just too ugly because, if I'm being honest, 16-year-old me was quite fucking shallow. So what I did was I took a picture of myself, the best picture of myself I could find, and I went to Yahoo Answers. And I posted the picture, and I asked if I was ugly. And believe it or not, a lot of the comments were quite nice. Most of them from women saying, no, you look fine. One of them saying, when you turn 18, hit me up. And that made me feel nice. But if I'm being honest, I didn't actually go there. If I'm being honest with myself, I should say, I didn't actually go there with the intention of finding out whether or not I was really ugly or not. Nothing that anyone said would have convinced me that I wasn't ugly. That's the thing you have to realize when it comes to incels or people dipping into the incel sort of community and ideas, right? None of them want to hear that they aren't ugly. They don't. Nothing will convince them that they aren't. Nothing. This is true. You guys know that, right? You can't convince an incel that they aren't ugly. They don't want to hear it. They are stuck in a perpetual cycle of negativity. They go onto the incel subreddits and the Chan boards and stuff like that, and they talk about how ugly they are, how ugly everyone else is. They go there seeking to be torn down and to tear down others, because that's all they really have at this point. They're stuck in sort of a perpetual cycle. I didn't care that I was decent looking. I thought I was ugly. And every time that I was interested in a girl and I fucked things up, it got worse. Especially as around this time I was getting into the reactionary content, which sort of coincides with reactionary thinking. I mean, incels, reactionaries, who would have thought? They're, kind of like, they're like this. They tie into each other. So I would do things like browse our incel and post my picture on Yahoo Answers, or ask questions about, like, oh, why does this, why do women not like me on Yahoo Answers, just looking for, ideally, to be told that, yeah, you are ugly, you should just give up, because that means I don't have to do anything, I can just accept defeat, and not really being happy whenever I got, like, a positive answer that was like, no, you're not ugly, or maybe you can do this. Like, I wasn't looking for constructive recommendations or answers. That's not what I was looking for. I was looking for my biases about myself to be backed up. And that's what incels want. A lot of the time. Not all of them, obviously. This doesn't apply to every single one of them. But that's what they were looking for. That's what I was looking for. It's like digital self-harm, yeah. And let me tell you what got me out of this. Do you guys want to know what made me realize that I had to stop this shit? It was in 2017. I was on the swim team. And we were at a meet. And our swim team was like mixed gender, right? So there were boys and girls on there, right? And one of the girls in the swim team had brought her friends to the meet. And this was after the event, after my events. I was just chilling. I think I was like probably just sitting by the edge of the pool. And one of the girls in my swim team came up to me and said, I'll say her real name. I don't really care. Hey, Dawn thinks you're really cute. She likes you a lot. You should talk to her. What do you guys think I did? What do you guys think I did? I said, oh, thanks. And I didn't talk to her. Didn't even look at her. I did look at her, and she was very hot, but didn't talk to her. I was like, what's the point? Why even try? And a week later, she had a boyfriend. And the reason why I didn't even attempt, something that, me a year before would have actually gone and did, the reason why I didn't even attempt to do it was because I'd been convinced, and I'd convinced myself that I had no chance. Why even bother? Why even bother to approach this girl, even if she told her friends that she thought I was cute, and so much so that she encouraged her friends to go ask me to go talk to her? I didn't even try. That's how much I'd blackpilled myself. And it was at that moment that I looked at myself and I reconsidered, what the fuck am I doing? There was a girl that was probably one of the hottest girls I'd seen at that point in my life who was interested in me, had outright been told was interested in me, wanted me to go talk to her, and I said, nah, fuck it. I'm just gonna not. What? And I realized, what the fuck was wrong with me? And I decided, you know what? I'm just going to focus on myself. I'm just going to focus on things I like. Video games, swimming. That's about it. And I'm not going to actively pursue women, but if the opportunity comes, I'll go for it. I'm not going to act too needy. I'm not going to act like I don't want it. And that's what I did. And you know what happened? 2 months later, I got my first actual girlfriend. She was cute, too. Ended up having to break up with her because my parents made me, but, with that aside, though, that was what made me realize I was what was holding me back. I'm going to be honest with you guys. For the incels out there, or the volcels out there, whatever, nothing's holding you back but you. You're going to fail sometimes. Some women won't be into you. Some women will cheat on you, or they'll curb you, or whatever. That's going to happen. That's the risk that you take when you go out into the dating world, trying to find someone. Doesn't matter what you're looking for. One night stand, hookups, a prolonged relationship, or even someone that you can love for the rest of your life. That's going to happen. That is the risk that you take. It's always a gamble. But the responsibility lies equally on you, as it does on the other person, to be a good partner. And sometimes that other person isn't going to live up to that responsibility, and sometimes you won't either. But it's your responsibility to try your best to live up to it, and to have faith that the other person will as well. And eventually, you'll find the right person. You will. But you have to understand that the only thing that can stop you from trying is you. Right now, if you're in the incel, if you're at where I was, posting pictures of yourself on our Incel and Yahoo Answers or whatever equivalent there is now. This was 2015, 2016, so Yahoo Answers was what I went to. And you're asking, do you think I'm ugly? Do you think, why won't girls like me? Whatever. If you're in that stage, you are what's holding yourself back. That's all it is. You miss every shot you don't take. So, if I were to give a message to all the incels out there, if you watch this, and you actually sat through the whole thing, because I know, if I'm being honest, back when I was an incel, I wouldn't have sat through this video. I really wouldn't have. I didn't want to hear it. But if you actually sat through this, that means there's hope. You actually sat through this and listened to my advice. If there was no hope for you, if you were too far gone, you wouldn't have watched to this point. And all I want to say is, stop holding yourself back. I know it's tough to hear, but you're what's holding yourself back. It's all you. So, with that said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it. If you want to see more from me, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon so you actually get notified whenever I go live. And of course, this is pretty important, if you want to support me financially, you got the money to do it, and you don't know what to do with it, and you don't need the money, you can always donate or subscribe, or pledge to me on Patreon, or click the join button to become a member. Ideally, you donate or sub on my website. I do appreciate it. This is my job. I do need the money to live, so thank you. And you can also follow me on Twitter or Instagram through the links in the description. There's also a link down there to join my fan Discord, where I got a big old community of people that you can talk to and hang out with. Very positive place. Fantastic community. Definitely join my fan Discord. It's awesome. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.